5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. That's the entire trick. What you just experienced, that countdown, is one of the most powerful psychology tricks ever discovered for beating hesitation. It's called the 5-second rule, and it comes from a book that has helped millions of people stop overthinking and start taking action instantly. Welcome back to Reader's Library. Today, we're breaking down the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why 5 seconds is enough to change your life. Here's the question everyone asks. Why 5 seconds? Why not 10? Why not 1? The answer lies in how your brain is wired. And that's exactly what we're going to break down in this video. Have you ever had a great idea, but before you could act on it, your mind talked you out of it? Have you ever wanted to raise your hand, speak up, make a call, or take a bold step, but hesitation stopped you just in time? If yes, then this video is going to change how you think about hesitation forever. We've distilled the most valuable lessons from Mel Robbins' work into one comprehensive guide, so you can apply this instantly in your own life. If you're ready to stop hesitating and start acting, subscribing helps you stay with us on that journey. Mel Robbins explains, there is a voice inside all of our heads that constantly talks us out of bold action. The moment you feel an urge to do something, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, applying for a new job, or starting a difficult conversation, this inner voice immediately jumps in with hesitation. What if it goes wrong? What if people judge me? Maybe I should wait for a better time. Robbins explains this hesitation is not harmless. In fact, hesitation is the single biggest killer of dreams, opportunities, and personal growth. The moment you hesitate, your brain activates something called the cognitive brake, which stops you from acting and pulls you back into the safety of your comfort zone. So let's understand, in detail, the powerful solution Mel Robbins created to fight this hesitation. Solution 1. The 5-second rule itself. Robbins discovered this rule during one of the most difficult periods of her life. She was unemployed, in financial trouble, and struggling with severe self-doubt. One morning, she saw a rocket launch on television, and she noticed the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in that moment, an idea struck her. She decided the next morning, the moment her alarm rang, she would count backwards from 5, and the second she reached 1, she would physically get out of bed immediately, without giving her mind any time to hesitate. This simple experiment worked. And from that single morning, Robbins began applying the same 5-second countdown to every area of her life, whenever she felt hesitation before taking a positive action. The science behind this is simple. Our brain takes about 5 seconds to activate hesitation and self-doubt. If we can act within this 5-second window, before the negative chatter fully activates, we bypass the hesitation completely. This is why Robbins insists, the moment you feel the urge to do something positive, count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and physically move your body into action immediately. Solution 2. Understand that courage does not remove fear. Courage is acting despite fear. Robbins explains, we often wait to feel confident before taking action, but this order is completely backwards. She says you will never feel 100% ready. You will never feel completely fearless, but you can still act, feeling all of that fear and doubt simultaneously. The 5-second countdown works because it interrupts the habit of waiting to feel ready, and instead trains you to act immediately, regardless of how you feel. Solution 3. Use the rule to push through everyday hesitation, not just big life decisions. Many people assume this technique is only useful for massive life decisions, like quitting a job or starting a business. But Robbins explains this rule is most powerful when used in small, everyday moments. Speaking up in a meeting when you have an idea, sending that text message you've been avoiding, getting up early instead of hitting snooze, introducing yourself to someone new at an event, Every time you use the 5-second countdown in these small moments, you are training your brain to become a person of action rather than a person of hesitation. Robbins shares a story of a woman who was terrified of networking events. She would attend professional gatherings but stand quietly in the corner, too afraid to approach anyone. After learning the 5-second rule, she decided to use it at her very next event. The moment she felt the urge to introduce herself to someone, she counted backwards 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and walked directly towards them before her mind could talk her out of it. Slowly, at every event afterward, she used the same technique. Within a few months, she had built an entire professional network simply by using this 5-second window to override hesitation every single time it appeared. Robbins also explains a very important concept called the cognitive brake. Whenever we feel an instinct to do something bold or unfamiliar, our brain automatically activates a mental brake designed to protect us from perceived risk. This brake convinces us to slow down, overthink, and eventually abandon the action altogether. But Robbins reminds us, this brake is not protecting us from real danger. Most of the time, it is simply protecting us from discomfort. The 5-second rule works because it interrupts this automatic braking system before it has enough time to fully engage. Another very powerful concept from the book is what Robbins calls activation energy. She explains every action we want to take requires a small amount of initial energy to begin, similar to how a rocket requires an enormous amount of fuel just to leave the ground. But once it is airborne, it requires far less energy to keep moving forward. In the same way, the hardest part of any action is always the very beginning. The 5-second countdown provides exactly enough activation energy to push us past this initial resistance, and once we begin moving, momentum naturally carries us forward. Robbins also shares the concept of the domino effect of small actions. She explains most massive transformations in people's lives did not begin with one giant leap, but instead began with one small 5-second decision that led to another and then another. A person who finally decides to walk into the gym for the very first time often goes on to build an entirely new healthy lifestyle. A person who finally decides to send that one difficult email often goes on to completely change the direction of their career. Small 5-second actions, repeated consistently, eventually compound into massive life transformations. Now, here is your one small, scary step for today. Think of one thing you have been hesitating on. Maybe it's a phone call, a message, an idea you've been sitting on, or a conversation you've been avoiding. The next time you feel that urge, don't wait, don't think, don't overanalyze. Simply count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And physically move your body into action the moment you reach 1. This one small 5-second decision could be the beginning of your own domino effect. Robbins reminds us that this rule works not because it removes fear or doubt, but because it removes hesitation. Fear and doubt might always remain, but hesitation is optional. Every single time you choose to act within those 5 seconds, you are training your brain to trust you, and this trust compounds over time into deep, unshakable self-confidence. Mel Robbins reminds us that the gap between who you are, who you want to become, is simply this 5-second window of courage. Every time you close that gap by taking action, no matter how small, you move one step closer to becoming the person you truly want to be. Thank you guys. I hope you liked this video. Now here's a question for you. What is one 5-second action you're going to take today? Drop it in the comments below. Let's hold each other accountable. And if you want more breakdowns like this, subscribing helps this channel keep growing. We'll be back soon with even better videos. Thank you so much.